hardship. Don't embark on strike. Tinubu government begs NLC and TUC. Can you imagine? The NLC and TUC already issued 14 days ultimatum to the president and his government, a failure to, ameliorate the hardship. Then there will be a nationwide strike. Now, they're coming out to beg them that they shouldn't go on strike, that they will stick to the agreement. Which agreement is that? And this APC government is full of promises that they never implemented. Okay, so President Bola Tinubu-led federal government has appealed to the Nigerian Labour Congress, NLC, and the Trade Union Congress, TUC, to see reasons and not embark on a nationwide strike. Mohammed Idris, the Minister of Information and National Orientation, said it was not in the federal government's interest for Labour to continue embarking on strike. So the organized labor had issued a 14-day ultimatum to the federal government over the hardship confronting Nigerians. Reacting, the minister said the federal government will not renege on the promises made to the workers. Idris said the government would not fail to honor agreements with the unions. Okay, have you not been failing before? So who will believe you this time? So according to the minister, well, we appeal to Labour to always see reasons with the government. It is not in the government's interest for the Labour to continue to go on strike. Okay, but it is in the government interest to continue to dishonor the standard of living and the welfare of the citizens, Abi. It's also not in the honor of the labor unions for government to continue to, impoverish the citizens. That is it. So I think the government keeps its promises. So if there are other things that they, NS and TUC, think they are concerned about, I think that they will sit down with the government, and the government is ever ready to listen to Labour so that we can have an amicable resolution to all of this. We appealed with Labour, let them come again around the table to continue to have engagement and conversations around whatever green areas they think they have in some of these arguments or agreements that have already been signed. What agreement has been signed? Have you paid? Look at NLC, what do they call them? ASU. ASU now is embarking on strike because of the salary that they have not paid them. So a lot of the organized labor unions in Nigeria are going to go on strike because the cost of living is way out of the reach of the common man. That is the truth. Okay, and then somebody is saying which round table again? It means that federal government, has no program for Nigerians at all. We have entered one chance. May God Almighty save our country. That is it. For God's sake, what are the reasons when we are dying and politicians are swimming in affluence? Exactly. So what reason do you have to tell them not to go on strike? The citizens are suffering, the politicians are enjoying, and are saying we should sacrifice. Meanwhile, they themselves cannot sacrifice. That is unacceptable. That's the truth. We have been hearing this every time. After the strike, things still remain the same way. So what's the need for the strike? Okay? People are dying of hunger and starvation. That's bad. Labour is not acting on government's interest, but in the interest of NLC, TUC, and the common man. So if federal government is serious, they can act in less than 14 days to come to avert the strike. After all, it takes you less than a second to loot the nation's treasury of NLC and TUC. Exactly. That is the way to go. So people are already reacting, and the federal government are just sitting there thinking that they can bamboozle anybody. But no, that can't work. Okay, so federal government is reacting to this NLC agreement, still saying that they will keep the agreement they have signed. Which agreement have you signed? Or now, what value is that agreement now? Okay, what value is that agreement? That's the truth. And then somebody say, have you not reneged before. You promised severally to pay 35,000 naira for 6 months. You only paid 2 with 3 outstanding. Is that how to fulfill a promise or agreement? You promised electric vehicles to ease transportation. Okay. You promised to ease transportation. We cannot see anyone. You promised to roll out gas station and its conversion system. 8 months down the line, nothing has happened. Okay? Has your government not failed? APC has always been a party to make people suffer. May God save us from their hands. That's a good one. So the Honorable Minister, tell your God to pay us our remaining 4 months palliative. Stop lamenting story. Have you? Or stop fermenting story here. And somebody saying, we are totally in support of this strike this time around. Did you pay the palliative? Did you provide the buses? Is the Port Harcourt refinery on stream? And many more. Federal government are taking Nigerians for granted on serious government. Exactly. I hope not. I have not seen a labor organization as weak as this type under Tinubu government. The government came in for pretext, okay, deceive Nigerians, and the masses foolishly keep quiet, allowing the deceptive government to carry out their evils against the citizens by reneging on their promises. Okay, shame to both government and NLC. Okay, the present NLC is too weak compared to Shomole era. Okay, NLC disappointed civil servants. This wahala now, wow. These trade union leaders are weaklings. They cringe and wince at the sight of crawling centipede. Hey, now wow. So where were they when Buhari, that Daura scarecrow, was tormenting Nigerians with everyday rising inflation and cost of living? Now, because a Saturday is on the driving seat, Labour has now developed wings. Nonsense. Can you imagine? This one must be an Agbadoria. We don't have any labor organization in Nigeria. Okay? Mr. President, common 35K you promised up to now, we only got September and October. Now, wow. So that is what is happening. They have promised, but Nigerians are saying no. They are now begging NLC to come back and discuss a roundtable, but Nigerians are still saying no. Do what NLC says you should do or face the strike action. I'm sure this is where Suleiman, what is his name, Salihu Lukman, the Northwest APC former chairman, is telling the president that ignore nationwide protest at your own peril. You will see what it takes. Okay? Renewed hope agenda has now become renewed anger. So get ready for it. Thank you for listening. Let's have your comment.